All right. I want to give this a few moments here to let everybody get queued up here and started and get our webinar going. Hope you're having a great day. My name is Chris Vaughn, and this is the Get Life Unstuck webinar. I don't know about you, life's too short to be stuck. So let's just wait just a moment here. I want to encourage you to, while we are preparing for the webinar, turn your cell phone off, turn all the electronics in your life off. Make sure that you can give some good attention. Get you a pad, get you a notebook, get you everything that you need, a good pen, voice recorder if you need to, and get ready to take some notes. All right, we're going to start in just a few more seconds here. I want to thank you for being patient while everybody logs on. All right. My name is Chris Vaughn, and I want to thank you for being with us for this webinar here. Just coming to you, wanting to do some things to help you get set and have a great future. I don't know about you, everybody, has things that we are involved in. I have spoken for 30 plus years on leadership, dynamics, life, positive, having a positive life go your way. And the one thing I've noticed is that everybody wants the same thing. At the same time, everybody's an expert and everybody knows the same thing. Everybody knows how to lose weight. We just don't do it. Everybody knows how to have a good family, have a great job, sell more products, but we just fall through in our execution. And so my goal over the next just few minutes of this webinar is to give you some concrete tools that you can use to create the life that you desire, to give you some framework so that you can build. So it's like building. It doesn't matter if you have a great framework, but if you don't have a good foundation to build that framework on, it doesn't do much good. So I want to encourage you, as we're talking here, I've been doing this for many years. Actually using this webinar just to kind of get my feet back in, did a number in 2016, 2017, and towards the end of 2017, just did not do as many. So excited to be here with you, and thank you for being with us. So want to, as we are getting ready, I want to encourage you to write down some of the things that you are wanting to see changed, and if you will at this moment, because these are going to be just some very key principles that are basic in their nature, but very intentional in their application. So number one, I want you to write down the key things you want to see changed in your life, key areas you desire change. Those are the things that you truly want to see change. It could be your weight, your job, your finances, your income. And at this moment here, I know that you might be just making it kind of vague. And that's fine. That's fine. But number one, our number one thing that we have to do is go from that to having something very specific of where we want it to be. We need our goals to be specific. Most of us are very good, intentional people. We intend to do better. We intend to wake up. We intend to be good. We intend to have mercy. We intend to speak good things to people. But the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And even though we intend to do those things, we fail on the execution because we are not intentional with those things. And that is what we're trying to do here. That's what I want you to do here, is become very intentional, very deliberate on where you want to go. Life is not just open seas. Now, I will say this, if you put a boat out in the open sea, whichever way the wind will knock it, it will be knocked. But as a sailor, if you were a sailor, you could anchor your ship so that you stay in a position. And if you're a smart sailor, you know how to tack against the wind so that you can go where you want to go. You can let the wind work with you in certain ways, and you can even sail against the wind in other ways. There are ways to make it work. But you have to have that intention. But unless you know exactly where you want to go. Now, So the key targets that you want to change, but these aren't just targets you want to change. These are things that you are mad about that you want to change. There needs to be some passion about it. There needs to be passion to change on every area. These are not things that you are just hoping changes. These are passionate areas of change. You want to passionately change in this area. This is something that you are becoming tired of. This is something you're aggravated with. You want to see change in your life, not just a hope. I hope I make $100 extra this week. No, you are tired of being $100 short every week. You are going to do what you're focused on that. Now, as much as I'm saying all that, and you are being, somewhat key areas you're defining and areas of passion, here's number one. Our 5 gets. Number one, get specific long term. Get specific long term. Now, here's an exercise you can do. Get you a pad, get you your pen, and go into someplace quiet and just let your mind wander and think and dream of the life you want to live. How good it is, how big it is, how great it is. And just begin to write all those things. Do this for about 30 minutes. Don't do it any longer. Don't after a while you'll just be making, but I mean the things that just press into your heart, press into your life, in your mind, your consciousness, the things that you want to see change. And write those things down. And as you write them down, be as specific as you can for about 30 minutes. Just let yourself, and then give that some moment. And then if you can the next day, do it again. Try to find the recurring themes of what you're passionate about. The things that you desire to see change. Those areas of your life you desire to change. And again, those areas that there is passion for and there is, if you will, aggravation for. Things that you want to change and see. So those are the key areas of change. That is the area you need to get unstuck in. If you're stuck in a relationship and you're just doing the same thing over and over, you need to figure out what it is you need to get unstuck from. If one of your goals is to have a strong relationship, a relationship of longevity, but your track record is you're not having that, then you need to find and make sure that your goal, your passion, is to be a person of a long-term relationship. And then that gives you something very specific to begin to work on. Get long-term specific. Again, number one is long-term specific. Things long-term, where you want to be in a year, 5 years, 10 years. But I will say this, one of the most profound principles of life is when you write down a goal, there is something about the cosmos of the earth that begins to seemingly work with you to make that happen. I read this principle when I was in my 20s, and it said write down everything you want to do. So I took a legal pad and I just dreamed for about 30 minutes, and I came up with 60 or 70 things. I may have been even longer than 30 minutes. And I mean, I had all these things I wanted to do and dreams I wanted to do, and I lost the list. Funny to say, I lost the list completely. And I found the list probably about 10 years ago, which was 20 years later. Shockingly, I had accomplished probably 2/3 of the list and had never even tried to on some of them. As far as in my conscious, it was certain things. One of them was skydiving. I said that when I was in my 20s, I want to go skydive. I want to make sure that happens in my life. And through a course of events and people and a good friend, I went skydiving, got video of it. So you have to be long-term specific. But again, since we're looking at getting unstuck, let's don't make it 30 things. Let's be focused on maybe 5 things. Number 2, as we're looking at that, we need to take those 5 things. So you've got 5 areas after you do that exercise, 5 areas of change. And it may be 3 areas. In fact, if you want to, make it 2 areas. Make it whatever you want to do, whatever you need, but make it as specific, but don't go more than 5. 5 gets hard. I would even suggest maybe for some, just do 3 areas. The 3 areas you need to change. Maybe you need to get up earlier in the morning. Maybe you need to go to bed earlier at night. That's 2 right there. You want to make more money. You want to have a better job. You want to have a better career. You want to be the kind of person, again. So you've got those 3 things. Now, going back to number 1, I recently attended a webinar, and this is true. I have no problem believing this whatsoever. The speaker said the most powerful thing you will do is write on a sheet of paper, index card, and write down exactly how much money you want to make, exactly how you're going to do it over the next 12 months. And he said, break it down to exact. So this is number one, going to number two. So I'm just going to use ballpark figures. If you want to make $100,000 a month, that's, about $9,000. Sorry, $100,000 in a year. That would be $9,000 a month. If that's $9,000 a month, let's just say, just to ballpark that, that would be about $2,750 a week. So that means that if this is your goal, you want to make $100,000 per year, which is $9,000 a month, really a little bit, whatever. We'll just say 10,000. Make it 10,000. $120,000 a year, whatever. But you're breaking it down to the week. So number one is to get specific long-term, but number two is to get incremental. If you want to lose 50 pounds, great. Don't focus on the 50. Lose 5. Break it down to a 10% increment. If you want to make $120,000 in a year, $10,000 a month, break it down to the month. You want to make $10,000. In fact, you can break that one down to $2,500 a week. But you want to get incremental. You want to break those areas down of change into bite-sized increments. Don't let the larger goal overwhelm your focus. Don't become so, I don't know what to do. No, your goal this week, your goal today is to eat 1,800 calories, whatever that is that you need to eat, so that you lose the 1 pound over the next week. Because you want to lose 50 pounds in a year, so your goal is to lose 1 pound this week, not 50 pounds, 1 pound. Listen, you can do 1 pound. You can do 1 pound this week, you can do 1 pound next week, you can do it. You've got to begin to break it. Now, if I said right now, if you've never seen $100,000 in a year, and I said you can make $100,000 in a year, that probably blows your mind a little bit, or $1 million. But if you'll begin to put it down, so don't go there. If you need to make $10,000 extra next year, or let's say $12,000 to keep it all round again, that means you need to make $1,000 extra a month and $250 a week extra. Well, if you're looking on 7 days, well, let's just say 5 for 5 business days, that's only $50 extra a day. I mean, $50. You could probably cut somebody's yard for $50. You could probably sell something on Etsy or eBay and make $50. Well, I don't know if I can do it every day. Why not? Can't you do it every day? Again, you got to make it to where it's incremental. And that needs to stretch you, because getting unstuck takes effort. You've got to work at this. You've got to have, that's why it's got to be something that makes you mad and you have passion, because this is going to take effort. And I'll just tell you right now, if you ain't going to put in the effort, turn the webinar off and don't even pay attention, because it's not going to work with you anyway, because you're not going to pay the price. So number one, get specific long term. Number two, get incremental. Number three, it's one of my favorite ones. I call it get reminded. Get your Word program out. Get some, desktop layout. Go to Canva, canva.com. It's a free site. You can make you can make Instagrams. You can make social media, but you can also make signage. Make signs of whatever your goal. This week I will lose 5 pounds. This week I can lose 1 pound. This week I will make $50 extra a week. Whatever it is, get reminded. Put them on your refrigerator, in your refrigerator. Wrap it around the Hershey's bowl that you have, the cookie jar. Wrap it around your wallet. Put it on your screensaver. Make a screensaver. Make a screensaver on your phone or your iPad. Keep yourself reminded continuously. We're talking of getting unstuck, of changing lifestyle habits. And if you're always going to fall back to who you are, you need something to draw you forward. The only way to do that on your own is to have reminders. Because if you take all the reminders out of your life, you're going to go back and eat the cookie, you're going to spend the $30, you're going to get mad at your wife if you got an anger issue, you're not going to cut the grass, you're not going to do what you have changed and desire to change, you're not going to write the book. You have to have reminders. You have to do something so that it engages your thought process every day. You need the reminders. And if you can, make them reminders that have penalties, if you will. I use a program every now and then to write things with. And you have to keep up a pace. If not, the computer just makes noises. You have to keep reminded. And that's the whole point of that software, is to keep you focused on what you're doing so you're not distracted. Get a reminder system. Make sure, if you have to, use Asana, great program. Use another to-do list. Use Google Keep. Google Keep is a great to-do list program where that you can see things and it will sync amongst all. Asana, another great program. There's many of them out there. Slacks, you can do that with different people. But get reminded. Stay reminded. Again, I cannot tell you the power of an index card written in your own hand, stuck on your mirror or refrigerator so that you have to see it. In fact, this is one of the great principles. I call it the refrigerator principle. Write out your goal, your get-to goal, and put it on your refrigerator or your coffee pot if you're like me and drink a lot of coffee. And every time you open the refrigerator or get a cup of coffee, you have to speak that goal out. You have to remind yourself of that goal every single time. You cannot get a glass of milk, eat a leftover, cook dinner until you speak forth and say those reminders. Keep reminded. Number one, get specific long term. Number two, get incremental. Number three, get reminded. Again, this isn't for the slacker. This is for somebody who's going to change. Number four, get public. Go public. Make it known to those around you that are supportive of what you're doing. Get your support group. Become public. If you intend to lose 10 pounds over the next year, let some people know that. There is a powerful force of pride in a good way that will help us live up to the standard. Because everybody wants to be accepted. Everybody wants to live within their standard of circle of influence. A police officer, a friend of mine, one day told me that he went to serve a warrant to a gang member who had broke his parole. This gang member, he knocked on the door. The door opened. There's the gang member. He said, he said, I knew you was coming. I knew you were coming. He goes, I know I broke my parole. He said, I knew you was coming. He says, I'm sorry about that. Sorry you had to come out here. And so he's walking down the stairs to go to the patrol car. And the officer's right behind him. Because again, he'll put him in the back seat. And right as the guy steps out past the stairwell, he looks down and he sees his crew, all of his friends in his gang. And when he sees them, he turns around and steps back into the staircase so that they can't see the cop. And they really haven't seen him. And he says, I hate to do this, but I've got to fight you. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, I've got to fight you. I can't let my boys see me go easy. And the officer friend of mine said, I thought, well, it'll be an easy fight. He'll just kind of put it. He said, man, that guy about killed me. He said, that guy beat me and fought me all the way there. He says, all the way into the car. He says, I had to get my baton. He goes, I'm beating him. He goes, I'm sweating. He's sweating. We're both bloody. He said he throws him in the back of the car, cuffs him, throws him in the car, gets in the car himself. The gang member in the back seat leans up and he says, man, I am sorry I did that. He said, I'm so sorry. He had a certain level of criteria of way to live that he wanted to be held accountable. And the moment he saw those friends, an accountability came into his life. You need to have that same level of accountability with supportive people. Tell those people. Let them know. I want to make $10,000 extra a year. I will have a peaceful home. I will control my anger. Help me on that. Encourage me on that. Challenge me on that. Now, on the other side, just as much as you need to go public with the supporters, stay private on the negators. Those people who are the naysayers of your life, don't worry about them. Just ignore that. But go public. Get public. That's why everything political, they have a big fanfare. From now on, we're going to make milk $4, like whatever it is. We're not going to make anybody pay for health care. We're not going to do this. This is going to be free. This is going to be given. Why? They want to make it public so people are engaged and are active. You want to go public so it keeps you engaged and active. And you can tell people. Somebody walks up. You're at the restaurant. Do you want to buy this? Do you want to eat this? Whatever it is. No, I do not, because I'm losing 27 pounds this year. I will lose 27 pounds. Do you want to buy this? Do you want a new card? You know, one of our new cards, our low-term interest rate cards that you can have and you get $400. No, I do not want that. I am getting out of debt this year. I'm paying off all my debt. I'm saving extra money, so that is not something I want. It's amazing how the moment you get public and you get strong like that, all of a sudden it turns certain things off. If you're a person and one of the areas you are stuck in is in constant spending, and it's easy for you to be talked into a purchase, I promise you, if you will come on strong with the public statement, you have gotten long-term specific, you are very incremental in it at that moment, you have something that reminds you so that when you are questioned with it, you're public. No, I do not want to buy that car because I will not be in debt for a car. That is my commitment. I will not do that. Promise you, the salesman will walk away. He's not going to waste his time on you. Although if you go, well, no, I've been thinking about it, no, you've got to be very, very specifically public about the things that you are going to achieve. Number 5 on our last one. This is the one my favorite too, but it's also sometimes one of the hardest. You have to get in action. Okay, I've given you 4 things right now that you can do. Number 1, make a list of some long-term specifics, 3 to 5 things. Number 2, break those down into increments. So, as an example, we've got 3 things, whatever they are. We're going to take 3 more sheets of paper. We're going to break that down as much as we can to an incremental weekly or monthly process. We're going to go from the finish line and work backwards. We have now created something, now that we know those 3 things, we'll use 3. I'm going to make reminders for things that I want to be reminded on. I'm going to go public with what I'm doing, especially to me, but to those around me that are supportive, and to the naysayers, if I must necessarily do that, to keep them away from this dream of getting unstuck. But now we come to this part. I've just given you 4 things to do. You have to do it. You need to take action. If I sit in a car that's in a ditch, that's in a mud pit, and all I do is going in front, forward, going in back, I will dig myself a hole deeper and deeper and deeper, eventually to the point that I'll just pull back and say, well, I guess that was all I could do. And then we sit there and don't do anything. We'll wait. Maybe next year. No, you've got to change today. Today is the only day you have. Your life is short. You're going to die in a couple years. And I say that not to be terribly short-sighted or hard, but that's the truth. We don't have a long time on this earth. It's not like we've got thousands of years to figure this out. You know, we get 120 at best. Most people pass away around 75 to 90 max. And that's all we get at this shot. You need to do something today. You need to change your attitude today. Change your words today. Get in action. Say it out loud that you're unstuck. Tomorrow is just an illusion you don't even have. Today is the only day you have to work with and to get unstuck. You have to get out of the car, don't care if you get dirty, and begin to push and pull and pour gravel in or get some boards to push. You've got to go get the tow truck, the tow dolly, the tow chain, whatever it takes. You got to take action. You can talk about it. You can think about it. It's never going to change. Your life is going to be exactly where it is 12 months from now unless you do one thing: change. Change is not change until you change. But the moment you change, everything begins to take place. And life begins to be unstuck. I want to tell you something. You can change. You can have the life you dream. Everybody can have the life they dream. Everybody can work towards that. And I'll tell you the truth of the matter. The joy is not getting the dream. The joy is in the pursuit of the dream. But you can get unstuck. But you gotta go for it. You got to work for it. And again, if in this webinar you thought I was going to tell you something that was just going to be the secret sauce that changed all of life, you're wrong. It's the most basic of principles to get unstuck in life. Get specific long term. Get very incremental in the short term. Get reminded and stay reminded and get public and get into action. I cannot say that enough. In fact, your mantra ought to be high ho silver, like the old Lone Ranger videos. Charge. You are going to take life and go for it. And I want to say it this way: I give you permission to go for it. Go for it. Chase your dream. Go after the job you want. Go after everything that you want. As long as it doesn't hurt anybody, it's not illegal, fattening, or immoral. Go for it. And get active with it. That's all I've got for you today. That's as simple as it can be. That's about 25 minutes of how to get unstuck. But the proof of the pudding is in you doing the deed, you doing the action, you doing the follow through. And sadly, so many people don't have any help or any means. I'm using this webinar here just kind of as to test the waters and to get out there. And what I'm actually putting together is what I'm going to call the Get Life Unstuck. That's how you came to this website, getlifeunstuck.com. I want to do something to try to help. And in the future, it's going to be a much different process, probably even a different name. But I'm going to create some resources on how to cope with disappointment and disillusionment, how to stay on track, some things that you can do, daily affirmations, daily encouragement, a weekly process. Just recently, I was walking in a store and somebody behind me talked about a New Year's resolution. And they made a comment on what the resolution was, and I thought that's good. Now, this was January 4th when this happened. I said, well, that's great. And the person behind the counter said, I made a resolution to do this. I've already quit. I actually looked at my watch to see what the date was, not the time. It was January 4th. They had lasted possibly 3 days. So I turned to a friend of mine, I went, 3 days. Wow. 72 hours to greatness. No, what you need to do is take a 99-day approach to greatness or a 100-day approach to greatness. You need to give it enough time in your life that you pursue it with passion so that it becomes ingrained in who you are and you have a changed life. You get your life unstuck. The 99-day Get Life Unstuck Challenge. And in that, what I want to do is actually, through the 99 days, help you and stick with you and stay stuck to you enough through emails and some video teaching to where you stay unstuck and on course to achieve that dream and that goal and that change that you want to be and that you want to have. In the future, I'll probably charge $247 or something like that. But for everybody right now, I'm not going to charge anything like that. And it will have daily resources and weekly resources for those 99 days. And again, why? So that you're not about the person behind the counter saying, I tried it for 3 days and I gave up. What was sad about them is I could tell. You could tell they did not eat properly. You could tell they did not care about their appearance at all. They were in a fairly okay job, but not really anything of any major importance, with no major career up front of them. And they're about mid to late 20s. And so what the sad thing is, they don't see the fact that if they don't change the course they're on, that the course they're on is going to be set and they're never going to get where they really want. And they'll sit on the sidelines and say, I wish I was going in that direction. And so I want to invite you. At the bottom of this page, there is a link where you can join the 99-day Get Life Unstuck Challenge and be a member. And actually, if you sign up today, you will be a charter member. And from this point, instead of the $147 or $297, we're just going to make it $97. $97. And it will actually start in a couple days. A couple weeks. If you sign up today, you will actually get in at this, what I'm going to call it, this beta price. And it will start in about 3 weeks, probably the 1st of February for 99 days. And then it will have different launches later on. But you can get it before anybody else does. And I would really appreciate if you do that, I get some feedback on the things that you need, the things that you want, the things that will encourage, and the things that will truly motivate you. So I want to encourage you right now, click the link at the bottom of the page and really look at the opportunity for us to work with you so that you can have the great change that you want and you can have the positive life that you truly desire. Because it is time to get life unstuck. And it is time to challenge your life and to change your life for 99 days and to get life unstuck. So for less than $1 a day, I want to be here to help you and be with you and do as much as we can with you so that your life will be unstuck and you will be moving and having the life that you so dream. Hey, this is Chris Vaughn. Thanks for being with me. Hopefully you've gotten something out of this. I didn't promise you that it would be all brand new material. Again, there's nothing new under this sun. But I promise you, it is in the simple things and in the execution of those simple things where great things happen in your life. So take those 5 simple steps and change your life. And if you want to, come along the journey with me for 99 days and let's get life unstuck.